This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good morning, everyone. Sharing a gorgeous sunrise with the spotted hyena restfully gazing across the savannah towards the rising sun. What a way to start the morning. Welcome to your safari live from the African bush.
This is so amazing. You can see how close he is to us.
That is insane!
Standing by.
Hello and welcome to the Masai Mara. As you can see, I am sitting with the Sausage Tree Pride.
This is Safari Live.
Yes, just watching this spotted hyena lazily waking up on this very chilly summer's morning, first bright and clear morning we've had in a long time. It's gorgeous. Hi, my name is Mike, and behind the camera we've got Seb, and you've joined us here at Ecotraining's Pridelands Conservancy, where we're coming to you live this morning, enjoying just the cool, still morning air and the gorgeous sounds of nature first thing, and it's quite a way to wake up. Oh, no hyena's waking up for us. Good morning. How are you doing? Maybe I'm speaking a little louder than I was a moment ago, and it's just perked its head up to see what's Mike doing? What are Seb and Mike doing? We're not doing too much except for watching you. You can see it's awake, it's listening around, its ears are moving back and forth. But it doesn't want to wake up just yet. I mean, if this is the hyena, I don't think it is the one that's heavily pregnant or just given birth. But if it is, it's probably had a very restless night with the youngsters suckling. Even if it isn't, if it's been around the den, it might have been being disturbed by those young hyenas if they are already born. And I mean, there's those two other youngsters that are, just a few months old that are already causing all sorts of havoc, especially around our camp. I'm sure when they're not at the camp, they're pestering mum at home. See, it's waking up. I mean, this hyena might either have been at the den the whole night, or it's been foraging the whole night and it's just gotten back after a night out, and it's also just resting. Amazing and wonderful camouflage against that dark red earth, especially, oh, there's another hyena just behind it. Hello there. Maybe this one is also coming back from a night of foraging. This could be a male. We often find that males are around the den sites, but don't often come too close because the mothers will not tolerate them with the youngsters, especially if they're low-ranking males or males that weren't part of the breeding. But could be a female, I'm not sure yet. Oh, she's now heard this one coming. See how alert they are. Obviously, it's not an individual which this hyena is worried about. You see, she's already tucked her. I keep saying she. I actually don't know if it's a female. I'm assuming it is. Looks like quite a big hyena, but let's see what kind of interaction happens. Sometimes when hyenas have been apart for a while, they'll, go nose to tail to each other and sniff to gather some information, cock the leg, just like a dog urinating, and sniff each other's genitals, and then gather a lot of information about each other. It seems like it's not going to happen. Linda, I think you're right. It is exactly like what I would have done, hitting that snooze alarm 3 or 4 times before you get up. I'm not ready yet for work. Please don't bother me. Just 10 more minutes. Please. It's so interesting how they tuck their feet under like that, just like a cat would. I think a lot of the similarities between hyenas and dogs and cats, you can really see them quite obviously. Like, you don't often see a dog sitting like that, tucking its legs under, but cats all the time. It's very interesting. So there's that other hyena. It's got a very, very spotted coat. It's got a beautiful coat, that hyena. And it's probably not a very old hyena, because generally speaking, as they get older, the spots become more diffuse and they become more just a grayish sort of color, not those black spots. It's moving around in a wary circuit around this den site. Could be that it's sniffing any of the scent marks around there, or scent marking itself. It definitely looks like a young one. This hyena, not interested at all in the nonsense from this other hyena. So this one here looks like a younger hyena. Hi, Simone. I think that there have been 12 individuals seen at a single den site. I think Taylor saw that with Gert, a couple of months ago. 12 individuals at a den site. I've seen 6 or 7 adults harassing a lion before, so it's a decent-sized clan. Let's say if there were 12 individuals, I don't know if that included all the youngsters, but they would have included some of them. So let's just say this clan is probably between 12 and 15. And that's a decent-sized hyena clan, especially if there are 6 or 7 full adults. They'll be able to chase off most intruders from this area. That's why we really do tend to think of it, us as the presenters and all the guides on the reserve. We've all been discussing this, and Seb and the other cam-ops, we've sort of decided that the hyena clan is definitely the most dominant force on Pride lands. Except when that group of lions comes in, which is, I think, 6 adult females. When they come through, of course, they could cause some real distress for the hyenas, but they don't have the core of their territory here. They sort of come in for a few days, and they end up moving out of our boundaries. So this hyena clan has their core territory right here on Pride Land. So they are the dominant predator force here. So definitely interesting to watch. And now that there's a nice den that's out in the open, that seems to be in a good signal area and frequently attended by many individuals. It's a really good opportunity for us to start gathering information, taking photos, and building up some identity kits for this clan, which will be great with your...
Join the Wild Earth YouTube Superfan community and unlock a world of additional perks. Get exclusive early access or discounts to Wild Earth travel deals. Wear the best bush attire with merchandising discounts. Enjoy an interactive live monthly private safari. Don't miss out on the ultimate fan experience. Join the YouTube Superfan community today. Are you ready for the adventure of a lifetime? Discover the magic of Africa with Wild Earth Travel. From a big cat safari to a jungle trek with gorillas, picture yourself floating down the Zambezi River or witnessing the breathtaking wildebeest migration. At Wild Earth Travel, we turn your bucket list into reality. Don't just dream it, live it. Plan your incredible life-changing journey with Wild Earth Travel today. Are you looking to take your bond with the wild to the next level? Download our app and access in-depth chats with our naturalists and special guests. Connect and converse in real time on our Ask Me Anythings, fireside chats, hangouts, and town halls. WeChat, available on the Wild Earth app. Wild Earth, we are Safari.
Keep on walking from places to places for good grazing grounds where there's good pasture. And if you listen carefully, you'll just hear the sound that they emit as they are walking. Truly sounds of the wild. How magical and wonderful is it to wake up into such a sound? Now, if you have comments or questions, hashtag Wild Earth, the young viewers, kids questions at wildearth.tv. Marianne, indeed, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And on our YouTube comment section at FC. So keep your comments coming and your questions, and we'll answer them to you. As we enjoy this beautiful scenery as the wildebeest gather, walking and grazing, we'll take you over to another safari vehicle.
Good morning and welcome to the western edges of the Great Limpopo Transfrontier Park. Here we are sitting beneath the recently risen sun, and it is very pleasant. There is an odd wind blowing from the northeast, which is a strange direction for the wind to be blowing from, but there it is. And you'll notice that underneath the risen sun with us is in fact a giraffe bull, and he's got two ladies with him. Yes. Good day. Now you'll see that my name is James Hendry. And on camera today we have got Mpo. I like the elegant way with which Mpo's thumb emerges to the front of the lens. Let's go to this giraffe's lady friends, say hello to them. There they are. So what we've discussed over the last little while is the habit of pale giraffe bulls to live on their own, and darker ones, at least pale ones, to live in groups, and darker ones to live on their own. And I thought maybe we'd found first evidence today of this not being the case, but no, this dark giraffe is hanging with the ladies, not with other bulls. So our evaluation of the experiment continues to be borne out. He's currently eating the evil-smelling plant, Gymnosporia senegalensis, or the red spikethorn. I don't think he's eating the flowers. I think he's probably eating the leaves. They are fairly bitter if you don't have a taste for them. We watched a lovely sunrise today. First sunrise we've had in about a week, I guess. Plus, minus, probably a bit more. Great big ball of crimson coming over the horizon. In fact, I think it's the first sunrise I've had here because, of course, we changed the times around about this time last week, and the sun had already come up by the time we started drive at 6 o'clock, just over a week ago.
Very close to Hopeless Road. They are attacking.
Please remember, you must talk to us using the hashtag WildEarth on Twitter. You can send us your comments, questions, insults, jokes. If you are a youngster, you of course may use the email address kidsquestions@wildearth.tv. I can see another two giraffes as I cast my binoculars off towards the east. They're all over the place at the moment, which is very nice. Please excuse the game drive radio. It's just getting busy because people are starting to move.
Major, come in.
Kim, the average length of a giraffe's neck? Oh, I don't know, 2.5 meters? 2 meters?
Major, come in.
Guess it depends on whether it's male or female also. There's some very angry squirrels. Let me just
Major, if you could give me,
check exactly for you. A big bull giraffe can be up to 4.5 meters tall. And I guess it's neck length. I mean, I'm not sure if they'll let me know. So the tallest giraffe ever recorded was 5.8 meters tall. So that's 6 meters. Female 4.5 is average. Male about 5. Shoulder height? No, it doesn't tell me the length of the neck. I'm afraid. Roughly half. Just less than half. The height of the giraffe is the neck. Good. Well, that was fascinating. Now we'll go down towards the waterhole and see what those squirrels are shouting at. Probably just the Wahlberg's eagle, but if we're lucky, it will be a leopard. Dun, dun, dun.
So hoping for a leopard is always fun, but we've got a spotted animal right here, and this hyena, as you can see, has turned its head now a bit over its left shoulder, and that's because the warthog has finally woken up. The big male warthog is at the top of this mound here. You can't see him. He's right there on the bottom left of the screen behind the bushes. And he's actually at the hole where the female warthog went in, where Linda went. So we are wondering if he's just knocking quietly, saying, it's time to wake up, let's go. It's very... So I'm anthropomorphizing here, but it's almost like he wants to escort her away from here safely, because remember last night when she arrived, she was a little hesitant and she slowly inched closer and eventually ran into her little den. So it's almost as though this big, strong warthog is saying, it's okay, it's safe, you can come out now, let's go. Remember, they are diurnals for the most part. Oh, what happened? You got a fright. Jumped forward there over the den. I wonder what gave it a bit of a fright. Oh, it's a big warthog. That warthog is as big as a hyena, I would say.
We should probably prepare to move fairly quickly.
Wild Earth presents Safari Spotlight, your front row seat to the wonders of the wild. Join our expert naturalists each week as they guide you on an unforgettable journey through the heart of nature.
Looks like this female came out here.
What a privilege to be here.
Subscribe to the Wild Earth YouTube channel and never miss a moment of the adventure. Wild Earth, connecting with nature. Get ready for an adventure of a lifetime. Wild Earth Travel is proud to launch a brand new grand tour. Backed by popular demand, join us for an unforgettable experience where you'll meet Wild Earth presenters from past and present, participate in an exclusive rhino conservation project, and even take a masterclass in wildlife filming. And of course, you'll get up close and personal with your favorite animal characters. Book your spot now and dive into the wild with Wild Earth Travel.
Thank you for joining us and have a fantastic morning.
Did you miss all that? Never fear, you won't have to miss another beat on Wild Earth again with our Catch-Ups channel. where you can rewatch missed safaris and shows whenever you please. Only available on the Wild Earth app.
Thank you for joining us and have a fantastic morning.
Diana, that is a question I've never been posed before. Difference between groundhogs, hedgehogs, and warthogs? That's a good question. So warthogs are in the pig family. So they're hogs because they're part of the pigs. Groundhogs, I think, are a little bit like squirrels. They sort of they live underground. They're like ground squirrels, what we have here. Oh, what's happening? Oh, there's the young ones. Hey, the young ones are busy harassing the warthog. That's those two younger spotted hyenas. Very playful things. And there goes the larger hyena as well. Hedgehogs are in another family altogether. I think hedgehogs are quite closely related to... Look at that, all three of the hyenas now. Are those the young ones? I don't know that they are. No, that's the female with the short tail. There's definitely some young ones there, but there's two adult females and probably the two youngsters as well here. That's so awesome. They're moving off far to the left there now, Seb. So Diana, they're all very different. I think the groundhog is probably more of a rodent family. Hedgehogs, I think they would be sort of in a mongoose kind of family, like a Viveridae, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. And yeah, warthogs are pigs, so that's the main difference. But I'd have to actually look that up. I think I'm going to do a bit of research on that because it's an interesting question. Imagine if someone would ask me that again and I would be able to answer with 100% clarity. That'd be impressive, I think. Well, the hyenas are now moving quite away. I'm sure they'll chase that warthog off, or at least just watch it go, and they'll probably come back a little bit later.
Jumbo, everyone. A very good morning and welcome to the side of the Mara. We are here in the plains of the Masai Mara, and we have Maskio, the female lioness that tried to hunt yesterday evening. She's still very desperate. It looks like she didn't get anything. We have decided to call her Maskio because her one ear is, down than the other one, and looks like she came back and really begged for one of her sisters to come with her because maybe it's been very difficult for her alone to get something. A very good morning, everyone. My name is Isaac, and on camera I have Bungay. We are here at the plains, ready to entertain you with what we can find, and we are very, very, very fortunate to come across these lionesses in this beautiful setting with perfect light, good temperatures, just amazing scenery, and they're out in the plains of Kichwa and very desperately looking for something. There is a zebra, there is topi dotted out in these plains. The cover is fantastic for them to be able to stalk, very close to whatever they're going to decide to. And so this is going to be my mission for the next maybe 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever it takes, because Maskio looks desperate. Like I said yesterday, she means business, and you can see she is even trying to catch up. I think she knows that the sun is going to get hot, and she doesn't want to be caught out here in the midday sun. Remember to talk to us on #WildEarth, or you can send in your questions at FC. Questions and comments are very, very welcome throughout this morning drive. Lions, as you say, or as everybody says, they are lazy. They are not. I think yesterday evening and this morning is a proof, and you can prove that they are not lazy. They really, really work hard when it comes to really trying to get something. You know, Maskio has walked a very long way from where I left her last night to come back and fetch her sister. And as you can see, she's still trotting. She's a very long way away from where I am, and I'm hoping that she's going to get something. Is it Camel Park? You say this time the lioness has brought backup? Yes, and it needs backup. I think two are better than one, and I'm sure the girl behind is looking at the strategy that Maskio is taking, and she's going to either adapt and adjust to what she thinks is best, and this is perfect. I think once she spots something, Maskio, and starts stalking, the other girl will ambush it from maybe further up, increases their chances of getting something. Look at that. She's quite a long way. I don't know what is there. I don't know what she sees, but she's a very long way now. And heading out there, running, trying to beat time. And, you know, you don't want to be in front of her right now because she means business. Although they seem to be very lazy, lions and lionesses are very, very active. 18 to 20 hours of sleep. Ron Jumbo, a very good morning. You ask, how do lions communicate during a hunt? Yes, body language. Every now and then, when they're stalking, one will go down, raise its head and look sideways. Then the other one will look, and that is the communication. The other one will turn around and either ambush from top right or flank it to the right. Usually it is body language. They do communicate body language. They never make any noises because any noises will attract attention. I think, allow me to drive on and try and catch up with them because they are very long way. We are using our powerful camera to try and zoom in so we can show you, but it's very close to a track that I know it's on that side. But continue talking to us. It's a really nice setting. I'm hoping that she can get something, and while I try and get close to her, another safari vehicle awaits you with something else.
So we've got a bit of a development here. Seb and I are both having a bit of a laugh. So this is the female warthog. Listen, Linda. We've called her Listen, Linda. She's only got one ear, and she didn't want to come out the hole where she was earlier, and that big warthog was looking for the big male. And now she's emerged with a young male. So we're kind of just making a bit of a joke here that she was busy hiding this young male from that large male, and now they're both going off together. It's a bit of there's a scandal happening. So this young male, it might well be her offspring, but it's just funny to think of it, that it's a clandestine meeting, a little bit of a rendezvous there. So the hyenas have all gone now. I guess they've all gone to either follow that bigger warthog or just sleep somewhere else, I'm not sure. And the warthogs have finally emerged, and now they're heading off. So it looks like the den's going to be quiet for a bit. So we'll probably end up leaving this area, but we're going to follow this scandalous story over the next while just to see how this develops. I can't wait to find out who's going to be. It's like a soap opera. It's really like a soap opera. So what I love about being able to do this, being able to sit for long periods watching animals, we really get to develop the social interactions and the relationships between each other. It's quite a wonderful thing.
Good morning and welcome to Tswalu. Very beautiful scene we are blessed with here this morning. Myself and Glenn have decided to come back to this mother with these 3 brand new additions just to do an update and see how they're doing. Good morning. My name is Carl and behind camera is Glenn. Welcome to Tswalu. And we thought, what a great way to start the morning by coming to do a little update on these beautiful new cubs. Looks like she's hungry. You can see the tummy's not very big. But we had a little early morning cuddle session with Mom and the little one. So all three cubs still here and still looking great. It's like kids waking up very early. They've got just a bundle of energy. Good morning. So by the looks of it, it looks like Mom will go off and hunt today. Her tummy was looking fairly lean. Obviously the demand that these little ones take is quite intense. So obviously an added advantage having multiple siblings is that they can keep each other entertained instead of Mom having to do the entertainment. I really hope you folks can hear all the birds calling around us. Just a cascade of different noises. Chuck my baboons in the distance, busy making a noise in front of us. So our plan of action for this morning was to come and do an update on these little guys, just to see how they're doing. Warren, that's a great question, and something that fascinates me every time when I see it, when I witness it. It's remarkable. They just know when Mom... Body language is a very important way in which animals communicate. Yes, vocalization is one way, and as well as scent, but body language, a lot of information, and a lot of information is passed on via body language. So they know by Mom's movements when she's going to go off and get a prey item. And then they know that when she walks away, they need to stay static at this den site. It's remarkable how these little ones do just know. Same as cheetah cubs. When Mom goes off and hunts, she does a little grooming, she gets up and she walks. They instinctively know that it's time for us to remain static. Beautiful call. Bok Makiri was calling there behind us.
Join the Wild Earth YouTube Superfan community and unlock a world of additional perks. Get exclusive early access or discounts to Wild Earth travel deals. Wear the best bush attire with merchandising discounts. Enjoy an interactive live monthly private safari. Don't miss out on the ultimate fan experience. Join the YouTube Superfan community today. Are you ready for the adventure of a lifetime? Discover the magic of Africa with Wild Earth Travel. From a big cat safari to a jungle trek with gorillas, picture yourself floating down the Zambezi River or witnessing the breathtaking wildebeest migration. At Wild Earth Travel, we turn your bucket list into reality. Don't just dream it, live it. Plan your incredible life-changing journey with Wild Earth Travel today. Not everyone gets excited to hear a leopard chuff, spot a pangolin, or see a real impala rut. But if you are wild about the wild, you can become part of a community of like-minded nature lovers and share authentic wildlife experiences with the world. Join the Explorers Club and you will also enjoy the many benefits that come with it too. Wild Earth Explorers, it's in your nature.
She just picked one that is on the road because she's tearing on the road. She can't see the ones just right on top above her. And some of them are just grazing, some of them are just standing on the road, unaware of this lioness that is close. It's within about 25 meters, even though that is the striking distance for lions. So she needs at least to move or close the gap a little bit more. So this lioness will be waiting here for a little while, and I'm sure she has to wait for perfect time before she gets close to this wildebeest. Sometimes it might be this close and then something happens, something spooks them, they are out of here, and she has to wait for a little longer. But I hope she gets something to eat because she's been trying to hunt for about 3-4 days without success. And I'm hoping she will be lucky. We have other people who come to enjoy this sighting at this time of the year because of the great migration. That's why you can see a vehicle just carrying on. People come to see this very beautiful sighting. A lioness just close to the wildebeest. Not quite sure if she might be lucky or not, but let's hope she might be lucky. And sometimes this experience gets to be exciting when you see how lionesses or lions talk, how they get closer, or sometimes they fail. Out of 5 attempts, one can be successful. Want to see either she might be successful or not, but sometimes it is also interesting to see how the stalking game happens.
We had had a herd of elephants here. 2 of them have disappeared into the thick bush, but I think there's another one just around this corner. Let me have a look-see. We heard one going... That's what they did. Exactly like I've just done it. But they may be in the very thick bush. Yeah, I'm afraid so. Oh, there they are. Straight in front of us. Hooray. Elephants in the morning. It's always nice. And a baby. I'll just stop over here. There we are. Elephants chatting to each other. Delightful morning. Not sure how warm it's going to be today. I think probably quite hot, although the breeze is quite chilly. And there are hyenas calling far to the northeast. We'll go and investigate that a little bit later. Indeed, stuck in bed, their tusks do grow slowly all their lives. So you can expect an elephant's tusks to be larger aged 40 than at age 20, but they don't grow, there's a genetic potential to each of them that they don't exceed. So not all old elephants will have long tusks. Many old elephants will have very short tusks, but that's just because that's the genetic potential of their tusk growth. Remember that most of the big tuskers were shot out. And it's a great lesson for all of us. The genetic legacy of big tusks was shot out of this area in the late 19th century, well, throughout the 19th century, by Western hunters who came in to sell ivory. I always think it's quite interesting it's quite important to remember that when the colonists arrived here with their firearms, there was a bit of hunting going on with the local people, but not a great deal because they didn't really have much use for elephants and that sort of thing. And they certainly, yes, there were a few ivory runners, but the whole-scale slaughter of animals for their ivory and their horn only came with the advent of the colonial era and guns, and obviously access to markets overseas and demand for ivory and horn. And it was that saw the decimation of wildlife populations in this area, to the extent that there were only 5 or 10 elephants left when the Sabi Game Reserve was proclaimed in 1898. And one of the great ironies and the great conflicts of conservation in this part of the world is that the people who were excluded from making a relatively sustainable living out of the game reserve areas, the local people, were excluded on account of the fact that what had become the authorities had basically slaughtered everything in their path. And that continues to be a source of conflict to this day throughout conservation areas, not only in Africa, but indeed throughout the world.
So this lion has already failed an attempt. Little did you know there was another lioness here. Look at how the other lioness is yawning. So all these wildebeests have already been spooked. They've already seen her. So it's hard for them to make any attempt. Like I told you before, once an attempt is failed, they just walk away and leave the sighting. So this other lioness had timed it well. So the other lioness that is walking towards us had already positioned herself, but she was too late. Animals have what we call comfort zones. So once they see a predator, they'll come to investigate and walk with them until they lose them, until they make sure that these predators are out of their comfort zones or out of their sight. And as soon as predator has seen prey, or the vice versa, the predators abandon the hunt. Hear them snorting. So these two lionesses are from the Olololo pride. Look at that facial grooming. Oh, there's another one that just came in. So there were 3. Unfortunately for them, they've missed out on breakfast, so they'll have to go to another site, another area to look for more. Sometimes you see them positioning themselves so well and you think that it's going to happen, but just a slight mistake or misjudgment of how close to get to the prey, then they end up failing. With the experience, sometimes they have to use their skills to overpower prey. Sometimes you see them going direct to the lately young ones. But these buffaloes or wildebeest that can be around this area, you find that they are super defensive. They use what you call swarm intelligence to come closer to these lions, and then they chase them away.
We should probably prepare to move fairly quickly.
Wild Earth presents Safari Spotlight, your front row seat to the wonders of the wild. Join our expert naturalists each week as they guide you on an unforgettable journey through the heart of nature.
Looks like this female came out here.
What a privilege to be here.
Subscribe to the Wild Earth YouTube channel and never miss a moment of the adventure. Wild Earth, connecting with nature. Get ready for an adventure of a lifetime. Wild Earth Travel is proud to launch a brand new grand tour. Backed by popular demand, join us for an unforgettable experience where you'll meet Wild Earth presenters from past and present, participate in an exclusive rhino conservation project, and even take a masterclass in wildlife filming. And of course, you'll get up close and personal with your favorite animal characters. Book your spot now and dive into the wild with Wild Earth Travel. you sometimes imagine what Wild Earth would be like without adverts? A chance to properly immerse yourself in nature without any interruptions. Sign up to be an explorer for a small monthly fee and you can truly escape into the wilderness. Ad-free viewing is now available on our app as well as on our website. Wild Earth, it's in your nature.
Jumbo, there is nothing like tiring out for lions when they are hungry. Survival is very essential and having a meal is in their mind, and so no matter how many attempts they try, they will continue trying. Even if it means they're on their last legs, they will continue trying. I have seen a footage of a buffalo that was a lion that was almost starving to death, and it went for a buffalo, and the buffalo really dismantled that lion because it was too weak, but the urge to survive for this lion was too great than the danger faced by a buffalo, and it went for it, and the buffalo really dismantled this lion. Eventually, I think it starved to death. So if it means they'll have to continue, they will continue. They will continue. I have followed these lionesses and Maskio, especially in the last 5 days, and she's been trying. She's been desperate. Yesterday, we saw she tried 2 times. This morning, that is the first attempt. Looks like she's brought back up this morning, and I'm hoping that by the end of show, she will be able to make it. Sometimes when big things become too difficult to catch, they will go for smaller antelopes and even warthogs. That is her sister, who fed a little bit. We saw that yesterday. Looks like the 2 sisters who were really, really bloated from eating too much flesh are not here, but this is a sister who was slightly lighter, and she's following the tracks of Maskio to try and locate her so that they can continue finding something. I'm sure sooner or later she will reveal where Maskio is, and I'm hoping it's within that area there. It's there, that's where we lost her. Yeah, there she is. There she is. She's coming back, and that's why the sister relaxed. Usually, after a failed hunt like this, they will rub heads. It's like to say, don't you worry, my sister. The day is not over. There's still more we can go for. And life starts all over again. That's what they're going to do. We might not see that, but usually they plonk on each other, they rub heads, and then they wake up and start going all over again. Look, what is happening here? Looks like I don't think they discussed a very good discussion here, because one is heading in the wrong direction. Okay, I'm staying here. I'm hoping that they're going to spot something that they can start stalking soon. And, while I stay here, another safari vehicle awaits to entertain you.
It's really nice behavior to see that you guys have just seen with Isaac, when those lions would do that greeting ceremony where they rub each other. These cubs are super active right now. I think they're starting to learn that they can move about, and their eyesight is obviously getting a bit better. They're doing a bit of vocalizing as well, so they're starting to find their voices. But they are just a bundle of fun right now. they have not stopped since you folks were last with us. And now each day their eyesight will be getting better and better. Myself and Ken found out now that when we stopped here that they were fixated on us. So when lion cubs are born, obviously they're born blind, and their eyes will start opening anywhere between 3 and 15 days. And now with the days going on, their eyesight is getting better and better, and you can see that their skills and their curiosity is definitely getting the better of them. Candy Bear, at what age will the lions be able to roar? Candy Bear, so roaring is a very important vocalization and something that the whole pride can sometimes be involved in. These cubs will start roaring anywhere at about 1.5 years, 2 years with the pride. That obviously won't be as impressive as the adults. It's something that, as with age continues, that roar becomes more and more prominent. Males tend to have a deeper and longer roar than females, and it's an activity that the whole pride can get involved in, having multiple members roaring at different intervals all together. It's quite an amazing sound to behold. But yeah, definitely a very important vocalization for males to establish themselves within an area and to let everybody know that they are occupying the area at the moment. But at the moment there'll be small, cat-like meows. Obviously when they're playing like this, a bit of vocalization. If one gets bitten or one gets a bit frustrated, they'd give a small meow type sound. I hope that was good enough. Oh.
So from an animal which is overload of cuteness to something that most people consider not cute at all, in fact some of the ugliest animals, it's a vulture. I believe this is a white-backed vulture, and although maybe not as pretty as a lion cub, it's definitely very, very important in the grand scheme of things. Now, the reason we've stopped for this vulture is because there were 2 or 3 others in the area close by, but they seem to have flown off now. I suspect that maybe they were just roosting for the night in this big dead tree here, nice and open, easy for them to land and take off. But I also wondered if maybe, this is an area I haven't driven in a little while, I wondered if maybe the vultures had seen something interesting in the area. So we just stopped to listen, but it's been rather quiet so far. As we drive on, we'll keep an eye out to any more indications that there could be a carcass around. Because as I mentioned before, they're quite important, especially at this time of year now. As it's warming up, diseases and parasites and all sorts of pests can start to flourish. So the vultures do finish off carcasses, anything that's left behind, and reduces the amount of disease that can spread from one animal to the next. They've got very powerful stomach acids, and so they're able to digest and destroy most parasites. Although there's some research to suggest that they might also help the spread of certain negative parasites and diseases, like anthrax, for example. There's some research to suggest that anthrax can be spread by vultures in their droppings and on their feathers from one waterhole to the next, although I'm not sure how that research has concluded. I know it was undergoing in the northern part of Kruger a couple of years ago when I was up there. Perhaps it takes a bit longer. But right now it's getting nice and warm. As you can see, the sun is fully hitting the side of that vulture, and it will turn its belly towards the sun and often puff out its chest and its feathers in order to get the maximum amount of sunlight onto its skin in order to warm up. Notice it's looking away from the sun. They've got very, very sensitive vision, vultures and most of the eagles. And although most of them have a way to defend their eyes from the harsh rays of the sun, it's certainly not very comfortable for them to look into it. And the sun would be right at eye level to that vulture if it looked over to the left, or to its left. So it's probably just looking away from the sun for a moment to try and keep its eyes nice and comfortable. But yes, I wonder, as it warms up and the sun starts to illuminate the ground, it will start to look for thermals to fly higher. Momo, it's amazing. Vultures can see an incredibly far distance. Now, I read some research recently that suggested that their eyesight is about 4 times as acute, or as, how can I say, definitive? No, that's not the right word. It's about 4 times stronger than ours is. So they could read a newspaper from hundreds of meters up in the air, and that's incredible. Now, they also suggest that birds can see in many different ultraviolet spectrums, so they're able to see all sorts of things that we perhaps couldn't see. Now, I don't know exactly how far they can see, but I do know that often we'll see a vulture in the sky, and all of a sudden, or so rather on a tree, and all of a sudden they'll take off and fly in the far distance at something, and then someone else on the other side of a reserve or a national park will suggest that there's a carcass. So they could almost certainly see other vultures that were nothing but specks of dust to our eyes, and they could already see quite clearly that there's something going on there and start flying over towards it. So it's really, really impressive. And they can cover huge distances. I mean, the Cape vultures that are nesting along the mountain ranges that are some 50, 60 kilometers to our west will take off from those mountains, fly all the way across to the Lowveld and circle around the whole day, and then fly all the way back to the mountains in the evening. So they're flying hundreds of kilometers every day in the search for food. And they also say that maybe vultures can see, although I don't know how, in some sort of thermal detection, because they seem to know exactly where to find those thermal air currents. Now, I don't know if it's just that they're flying along and all of a sudden they feel the hot air rising and they circle and others are attracted to that, or whether it is that they're actually physically seeing a place where there might be some hot air. I don't know. It's very interesting. But Momo, definitely 4 times as accurate and as acute their vision is than ours. So that's pretty amazing. So this vulture is now looking down at a vehicle that's going past us. Hi there. Good morning. How are you? It's always so nice when people are polite and they wave. Hi. So this vulture will stay sitting here getting warm from the sun and perhaps soon take off in the search for food. That is, if there isn't food here right now.
Join the Wild Earth YouTube superfan community and unlock a world of additional perks. Get exclusive early access or discounts to Wild Earth travel deals. Wear the best bush attire with merchandising discounts. Enjoy an interactive live monthly private safari. Don't miss out on the ultimate fan experience. Join the YouTube superfan community today. Are you ready for the adventure of a lifetime? Discover the magic of Africa with Wild Earth Travel. From a big cat safari to a jungle trek with gorillas, picture yourself floating down the Zambezi River or witnessing the breathtaking wildebeest migration. At Wild Earth Travel, we turn your bucket list into reality. Don't just dream it, live it. Plan your incredible life-changing journey with Wild Earth Travel today. Did you know that the Wild Earth team makes weekly behind the safari content? Would you like to get to know the Wild Earth family better? See how we live.
This is Igor's bedroom.
Learn about our production process. And see the antics that happen off camera. Sign up to be an explorer and you will get access to all this content and more.
Look at how she's blending in the long grass. And sometimes that is what pays a very good price when they're stalking, because most of the animals cannot see, especially when they're downwind. Like, for example, when we were watching the other lioness close to the zebras and the wildebeest, we didn't realize that she was around there. She was already crouched in the tall grass, waiting for an ambush. But then I think she might have had a wrong timing, and that's why she failed. Thank you so much, your viewers. We indeed doing this because of you. We'd like to entertain you and follow the animals and bring you a live safari right in your living rooms. I think we've lost her. So game has moved up just on the edges of the escarpment, and this lioness seems like she's walking towards that direction. And sometimes because of the movement of game, these lionesses have to walk long distance away from their dens or from their pride area, and with this they walk over into other lions' territories. Sometimes they clash, right? Or sometimes lions will be friendly, especially big ones walking over to this territory, because some of these males have controlled be out to the can see water there waiting patiently. So they watch over the land of other predators, hyenas, in their sight, and by locating times they
So we've just left that vulture. Sorry about that in the Mara. They must be having a few technical difficulties. It is the bush after all, so these things happen. We're just moving a branch off the road there and still investigating this area where the vultures are sort of sitting. There's a bit of a rocky outcrop just to our right here, and as you can see, there's a few vultures just sitting up in these dead trees. So we're kind of wondering if there's something here. So that's at least 4 vultures here in this area. There's 2 more up there. Now, 4 vultures could indicate something, but it could also just be the fact that there's lots of nice big dead trees around here that they're sitting on. So we haven't seen a track or a sign just yet, but we are on the lookout. We are on the hunt. It's actually a really cool, silhouette. Gosh, the word was gone. It's a French word, right? Yeah. Contre-jour. So there's a couple of other birds up there. There's also a grey go-away bird just in the same tree a bit to the left there. It's also a nice silhouette. Look at that. Much smaller than a vulture, but I think much more handsome. It's got its crest up. So a vulture is not a bird that they need to be worried about, but it's still very large, and it does have a strong curved beak, so it could be quite painful. And vultures have been known, especially these white-backed vultures, they've been known to catch live prey from time to time. Things like impala lambs or maybe young antelope of some sort. But it's not common, especially in an area like this where there are plenty of predators around. But anyway, we haven't heard or seen anything, so let's keep ourselves moving and see what else might be around this area. We had seen a group of elephants a little earlier, which is actually what we're trying to head to. It's always good to investigate when you see tracks and signs anywhere around. There's also plenty of old buffalo dung around here. Nothing too fresh, but you never know what you might see. Pixie Pan female and her 2 cubs, still got both the cubs still alive. They were seen briefly yesterday. We didn't get to see them, unfortunately, but they were headed in the direction of these rocky outcrops just to our right. So perhaps they made their way towards them, hunting around there during the evening. And then in the early part of the morning now, it's still quite cool. They're probably sitting up on a rocky area or an open space, just looking down on the savannas, checking to see if there's anything that they can catch or feed on in the last minute. Apparently she was looking real hungry, the pixie female. So if she was looking real hungry, and we know she's a great mother and a great hunter, hopefully she's gotten lucky last night.
Hello everyone, good morning. And such a beautiful day. It's a little chilly, but the sun is just gorgeous. And we're here at Simbambili Dam. I've been driving around looking for hukumuri. It's me, Trishal, and I've got BK on camera this morning in the Sabi Sands. Like I said, I'm on Simbambili, although I'll go back to Juma if we are not fruitful. So, hukumuri apparently is not on Simbambili, where it's moved towards EP, Elephant Plains. And I also wanted an update on Shidulu. We went through a point where, oh, hello, waterbuck. Bye-bye, waterbuck. Hello again. Look at the light. Look at the light. It's stunning. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful morning. Shidulu also hasn't been seen for a while, but some of the guides say that they've seen her tracks around. That is beautiful. Looks like it might have seen something it wasn't too happy about. You are a beautiful, stunning waterbuck. Yes, you are. It looks so magical with the light in the leaves. You can hear the water thickly. You can hear the red-billed buffalo weavers. No doubt having a bit of a chat about the nest above them. They'll have a nest that's very large with multiple chambers, kind of like an apartment block. Then males will have multiple females in those different apartments. But other males can also occupy different parts of the nest with their females. So beautiful. It's one of those crisp mornings that has that gorgeous type of sun, almost like a wintry morning. Lots and lots of green grass all over the place. Our hippo has submerged again. I'm just going to pull up my binoculars quickly. Our weavers. Just looking at some water thickening that you can hear. I was hoping they were sitting on something, but they're not. You can hear the blackback puffback. Good calls. So, my version of a blackback puffback is click hoo, click hoo, click hoo, click hoo. Look at them go. so wonderful just to relax and watch and listen. Miley, you want to know what my favorite bird is? Oh, Miley, it's so difficult for me to choose favorites. So difficult. I do really like the Bateleur, though. I really do. And the colors are just gorgeous. But so difficult to choose. I really like green-winged Bateleur. I might even say that's my favorite. But I can't do that. I can't. They're all so beautiful. They all play such a special role. Some eating seeds, some eating insects, some drinking nectar, some looking for crustaceans and other things in the water. They're all so important. They're all a little piece to a beautiful puzzle that are birds. In fact, the whole environment. Okay, well, we're going to move on, see what else we can find on Simbambili.
It's quite astounding. A yawn arrived as we went live. I was hoping to put it off, but I had to, I'm afraid, get it out. I'm just confessing to you. Here I am standing on the recently fallen torchwood tree here at Biffleshoek Waterhole, and I'm investigating the nest of a red-billed buffalo weaver. And this particular nest is being rebuilt all the time. Red-billed buffalo weavers never stop building their nests, and in fact there's a tower that holds an antenna just near our camp that has been absolutely taken over. There must be 400 or 500 kilograms of stick up on the antenna, and here this little chap's brought some more back. It's a couple only. There are only 2 of them as far as I can tell in this particular nest. Here they come. They're building again. You can hear them shouting at each other, arguing over where to place the furniture such that it is. And I'd hoped that we might be able to see some babies inside or some kind of activity inside, but it's actually so well hidden that it's almost impossible. But I will tell you that there is no nice soft lining inside as far as I can make out. It's all just these extremely uncomfortable thorny sticks, which I'm sure are very protective for the babies, but not particularly comfortable to lie on. Still, if you're born on a bed of nails, I suppose you've never known anything different. Great deal of sound around here. Right. We were hoping to find some evidence of the hyenas that were shouting when we were with the elephants earlier, but I'm afraid I have heard no further sign and not seen any hyenas either. I hope I don't fall off here and do myself an injury, which would be embarrassing. Here come some people. They are all dressed in various kinds of khaki clothing and winter gear. Anyway, so that's the red-billed buffalo weavers. And we'll see if we can get lucky with something else.
Lovely, thanks.
Game drive radio is going crazy, which is unusual because nobody's actually found anything. So I think I'll head off further towards the east and see if we can find those hyenas.
So we found those elephants. This is a rather large elephant bull feeding here on some of the fresh grasses. As you can see, they're plucking up some grass from the ground, shaking it to get the wet soil off of that grass. It's looking quite skinny, actually. If I look at this elephant, I feel like I can see his hips and his rib bones. That's quite odd, although I suppose it is very, very early in the summer, and there's not a lot of green stuff just yet. So maybe such a large elephant bull was struggling a little bit to find all the nutrition that it needs. However, now there's plenty of fresh green grass starting to grow, so I'm sure he'll come right. Maybe it's just the angle of the sun at the moment that's making him look skinnier than he is. This elephant bull has an impressive set of tusks. It's quite long. The right tusk is longer and thinner than the left, so it's probably a left-tusked or left-handed elephant, using that left tusk much more frequently. Oh, climbing over that log, it's a bit of a mission. So probably using the left side much more frequently, and there it's busy pulling out, plucking up what looks like maybe a raisin bush or something to get at probably the roots, or maybe even some of the grass shoots that are growing at the base of that. Let's see what it does. It's actually quite amazing. If it pulls this thing out of the ground, that takes a lot of energy for someone like us, like human being. I mean, we'd have to shovel and dig and do all sorts of stuff. But this elephant just pushes it back and forth, left and right, and then we might use its trunk to just lift it out of the ground. Although it seems to have been satisfied with that movement that it just did there. Maybe it's exposed some of the roots and it's busy plucking them up. Or, as I said, it could just be some grass shoots that it's trying to get at. What's nice is the color of the elephants right now. Because the rain has just fallen and there's a lot of wet and red earth everywhere, you see this elephant is turning a red color. Now, I wonder if this is also... There you can see the spine of the elephant and the hips rather exposed, so I do think that he's looking quite skinny. Not in a terrible condition, but definitely hungry, ready for the summer when things are going to get easier for him. You can see those ears also gently flapping. It's getting warmer now. That cold front passed us. We're starting to get warm again. Temperatures rising, so you'll see the elephants flapping their ears a lot more, and hopefully also going for swimming a lot more now that
We should probably prepare to move fairly quickly.
Wild Earth presents Safari Spotlight, your front row seat to the wonders of the wild. Join our expert naturalists each week as they guide you on an unforgettable journey through the heart of nature.
Looks like this female came out here.
What a privilege to be here.
Subscribe to the Wild Earth YouTube channel and never miss a moment of the adventure. Wild Earth, connecting with nature. Get ready for an adventure of a lifetime. Wild Earth Travel is proud to launch a brand new grand tour. Backed by popular demand, join us for an unforgettable experience where you'll meet Wild Earth presenters from past and present, participate in an exclusive rhino conservation project, and even take a masterclass in wildlife filming. And of course, you'll get up close and personal with your favorite animal characters. Book your spot now and dive into the wild with Wild Earth Travel. Stay up to date with the latest happenings at Wild Earth. Discover what goes on behind the scenes and get a weekly recap of the best moments on the channel.
He's got it! And he's straight up a tree!
Sign up to be an explorer and receive our newsletter written just for you and sent straight to your inbox every week. Wild Earth Explorers, a club for people who are passionate about nature.
Thank you for joining us and have a fantastic morning.
Even at this stage, they might be small, but to fight for the best spot, they would be quite aggressive to one another, snarling, making a few vocalizations, and even pawing and swiping at their siblings to get in. And that's the same process at which they need to go through at a carcass. They need to learn that they need to push their way in there in order to get a meal. It's starting to warm up quite nicely now. That coolness about the morning is starting to dissipate, and the sun rays are really starting to warm up the landscape. As you can see, Mom is in the most relaxed position she could possibly be right now. But true to that South African saying, the next couple of minutes it's going to be maag is full, their stomachs are going to be full, and their eyes are going to be closed. What a better spot to do it at.
Well, look at these guys. I've been following the lions, but I came across this beautiful parrot. It's one of a kind, and it's found in the Masai Mara. It's the brown parrot. Look at this. I haven't seen one in quite a while, and it is very exciting. You know, it's one of the parrots that is still very, very free, not trafficked, and very little known. Yeah, it was a pair, but now you can only see one. You can tell, very much like a parrot. You look at the behavior, you know. The beak meant to crush seeds and nuts, yeah, and the seeds are in plenty. The tree is on right now. It's a Diospyros, does produce some, fruits, but it's not fruiting at the moment. But the area I am in is full of trees with different kind of fruits. So it is really, really amazing and nice to see him over here. That one, it's very hard to tell if it's a male or female when it's at a distance like that, but it is an adult because it's got that, yellowish stripe across the forehead. You see that? It's an adult, that yellow stripe that grows from one eye to the other. You can tell the behavior, even how it lifts its feet. It's very much parroty. Yeah. Usually it's a medium size, mainly brown and green parrots. This is one of the families that it relies on, usually found west of Kenya, west of Tanzania, most of Uganda, Rwanda, and Burundi. And it's it's a resident of mostly wooded savanna and places with plenty of baobabs. You will find them. You hear him calling? Quick! Beautiful. Yes. It's really something to have, to see him. I haven't seen one in quite a while. It's a African, brown parrot. It's also called the Maya's parrot. And there's a few in that bush there, but we cannot see them. I don't know if Bunge will pick up another one, but you can hear them communicating. They're calling each other. Rachel, Jumbo, do parrots in the wild still, mimic other wild birds? Yes, they do. They do. And if we were here longer, you would hear, especially when one is lost and he's all alone and you hear other birds, you can hear him mimicking. The call it makes this guy is screeches, and it's got a metallic kind of slurred chattering. That, that's what it's making right now. So they do mimic other birds. I've seen the mimic. Thank you for turning around. Looks like he's, displaying for us. He's performing for us. Did you see that? Very much. I'm sure most of you have seen parrots, and the way he turned is very much, parroty, and he's very, very happy in his own world there. I'm hoping that another one pops by so we can have two, but it is a very distinct bird. You cannot mistake it. It's got that, metallic greenish, breast, yellow shoulders, and that yellow stripe that goes from one eye to the other. It's super. Yeah, it's a pity we cannot zoom in further. That is the closest, we can get to him, but it's really, cool. He's calling. He's calling. I wonder where his mate is. Could be somewhere. Okay, off he goes. I don't know if the other one will come. Okay, looks like he's gone. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to my lion search. Looks like Maskio's sister was heading back towards where the others were, and that's what I'm gonna do right now. But as we do that, here comes a yellow beanstalk. I don't know if he's gonna land. He's flying there. He's just flown past. He's gone. Yeah, there he is, yellow beanstalk. He's on a mission to go somewhere. That's really, really nice. Okay, I'm gonna continue on and search for this lioness, but that was an amazing find for me. I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, Maya's parrot, or the brown parrot, one of those few parrots that are still free out here in the wild.
Nice question asked by Henry then. At what age would these lions, or when would these lions be introduced to the pride? So they're concealed for anywhere between 4 to 6, maybe 8 weeks, and then thereafter 6 to maybe 9. This would vary depending where you are as well. This is when this female will introduce these cubs into the pride. She might also take a bit longer to do this introduction, especially if they're a little bit older cubs currently in the pride. So typically 6 to 8 weeks, but obviously that could vary slightly if there are other cubs within the pride. And then when she introduces them, the weaning process will be also put into play at that period, around about 10 weeks. So around about the same time when she introduces these ones to the pride, she'll slowly start weaning them off milk. Great question. Thank you very much, Henry. This lady is out for the count. Got some baboons calling in the distance. All the beautiful sounds around us. And what a morning it is. It's nice that she can snooze like it while the little ones can do what they need to do. And you'll find that they'll kind of just roll over and continue snoozing for a period. And with full tummies, they should be up again to be that bundle of fun.
Join the Wild Earth YouTube Superfan community and unlock a world of additional perks. Get exclusive early access or discounts to Wild Earth travel deals. Wear the best bush attire with merchandising discounts. Enjoy an interactive live monthly private safari. Don't miss out on the ultimate fan experience. Join the YouTube Superfan community today. Are you ready for the adventure of a lifetime? Discover the magic of Africa with Wild Earth Travel. From a big cat safari to a jungle trek with gorillas, picture yourself floating down the Zambezi River or witnessing the breathtaking wildebeest migration. At Wild Earth Travel, we turn your bucket list into reality. Don't just dream it, live it. Plan your incredible life-changing journey with Wild Earth Travel today. Chatting around a fire is an ancient practice that has connected humanity for centuries, and we want to keep it alive in our modern age. As an explorer, you'll have access to intimate gatherings with our naturalists, fascinating guests, and experts where we share knowledge, insights, and stories around a crackling fire. Rediscover the power of connection. Sign up to be an explorer today and experience the magic of Wild Earth's Fireside Chats.
So quite a nice road to drive down because it dips down so far, and you have the beautiful Drakensberg Mountains in front of us, and then of course Mariepskop on the right there. The beautiful area this. Like I was saying yesterday, it's also with that amount of rain, the green shoots on the grass are already popping and new leaves are budding on all the flowers. Gonna slow down here a little bit, see if there's any lion tracks or maybe a lion itself. It's about time we see the Birmingham Pride again. Jane asking if there has been any update on Tamboti Tom. Sorry, it might be James. James, not so far, no. It has been quite a long time since, well, of course, I've seen tracks. I haven't been here for a while now, but I've not seen any tracks of him for the past week. And I don't think they've seen him for about a month and a half, so not too sure what has happened. And it seems like, watching my court email this morning, he was scent marking, which for a young male leopard in his dad's territory is rather dangerous. But then again, it has been raining a lot, so it could be that we just missed the tracks. Being a territorial male leopard, the Tamboti Tom would walk very, very far and have a huge area to cover. But we'll keep you updated. If we do find him, I'm pretty sure we'll happily show him on Wild Earth. Okay, no sign of lions here. She's talking about territorial leopards. Where we are now would be the territory of Mandleve. So he's the father of the Twatsimotso male. Also got blue eyes and half an ear. It's shaping up to be quite a nice day. Sun's out. I think Odie was telling me earlier it should be about 31 degrees today. It's a lot hotter than what we've had in the last 2 weeks. Okay, so we're going to continue going west. There's a road up here that goes north, cuts to our right. Big open clearings. We'll check through there, check if there are any tracks of the Pride, maybe crossing west, and then head on to Alfred Dam, the big watering hole, and just hope for the best.
It seems like it's a catty morning then. This lady not doing much walking at all. The cubs, on the other hand, have decided to step out of their comfort zone, left mom to snooze. They are about 30-40 meters from the den site right now. Just with their curiosity now, they'll venture around this site while mom is here and become quite brave, taking a little walk about a few few meters, everything is grabbing these little ones' attention right now. So we're going to see what they do, but we also have something up our sleeves. We also have something up our sleeves for all our viewers. We are going to be going off shortly and going to go look for an ostrich nest. We've had a bit of information from one of the guards that there's an active ostrich nest not too far from our current position. So we'll do a little look-see and see what's going on there as well shortly. I've never had the luxury of having an ostrich nest to view, and hopefully we can capture something amazing. If you guys have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate. #WildEarth. I'll be sure to answer them to the best of my ability. Can you still see the little ones, Glenn?
No, they've disappeared, right?
Okay, we've lost total view of the little ones. With an area like this being a den site, folks, obviously you want to minimize your movement around the den site because you could scare the little ones. So we're just going to hold here. Not going to move the vehicle. But we have lost all visual of those little ones. But if something had to go wrong, they just need to utter the word mom. And this lovely lady will be up in a flash. We're going to send you off to another amazing location. We'll see you now.
Okay, looks like the formula that Maskio and her sister used didn't work, and her sister didn't like it, and so she has moved back towards where the cubs are. I think this is what we call the female we call half-tail. She lacks the tip of her tail, and she's headed straight towards where they, tucked the cubs. Yesterday we saw them go in there, all the three females, and that's where she's headed. I was hoping that she was going to call them from there, and so we could see them, come out into the open. Looks like she's gonna continue on all the way through to where the cubbies are. I'm really looking forward to seeing them because we haven't seen them for quite a while. It would be nice to see them, but who am I to say anything? When we see them, we see them. This is nature, and we are at its best place where it can be. Yeah, this pride is called the River Pride, and they have some new ones, and we haven't seen them. Some of them, David saw them about 3 weeks ago, and I haven't seen them myself, so I'm really looking forward to seeing them. The grass she's walking in is elephant grass, a grass that I really respect because as a young boy we used to go collect it to sweep outside our homesteads, and you used to have almost a fresh broom every week because it is in plenty. Hence its name. It's mainly fed on by elephants. Buffaloes do try, and rhinos, but mostly it is elephants. Looks like she's gonna disappear on us quite soon, or maybe stay there and call the cubs. Remember to talk to us, #WildEarth. Question and comments are very welcome. This is a live broadcast, and I'm in the Masai Mara, in the Mara Triangle, and I'm just looking at one of the river lionesses heading towards the bush. These girls, it's a proof lions work really hard to get their food. It's no joke being a lion or a lioness out here in the plains, because everybody is looking you as a threat, and they would wish that you'd starve to death, and so we have seen how hard they work. I'm sitting here, watch her disappear, and while I do that, let's join another live safari vehicle.
Right, we have come to this astonishingly great sighting of a saddle-billed stork. You can see there 3 feathers behind some grass. It was in perfectly good view to start with, then it went behind a bush and we moved again and it was in fine view, and then as soon as it heard that it was going to be live on television, it decided to move away, which is extremely irritating. Anyway, the reason that we came to this, what can only be described as bog average sighting of a bog-dwelling saddle-billed stork, is that just over the hill here, where we are not allowed to go, there is a pack of wild dogs, literally probably 150 meters from where we are. And so we're just waiting to see if they will come up towards the north. Because if they come north, we will be filled with great delight. I saw a vulture flying over our camp early this morning, and it's unusual for vultures to move at that time of the day, but I've often seen vultures at wild dog kills in the mornings, and I think that if they see wild dogs coming past their field of vision in the mornings, they'll make the effort to fly after them because the chances of success are so high. May just catch a view of a Land Cruiser going past at the moment. That's Peter from Nkoro, who found the wild dogs. There he is. Hello, Peter. Anyway, there is our saddle-billed stork, looking for the new frogs of the season and hoping desperately that it'll catch perhaps a giant African bullfrog. So I think it's worth our while to just sit here, because if those dogs decide to move even a little bit, we're in a good position to see them. They'll probably just go to sleep exactly where they are, though, knowing my luck over the last couple of days. Strange cold wind continues to blow. Let's check what the weather's going to be doing. We should probably prepare to move fairly quickly.
Wild Earth presents Safari Spotlight, your front row seat to the wonders of the wild. Join our expert naturalists each week as they guide you on an unforgettable journey through the heart of nature.
Looks like this female came out here.
What a privilege to be here.
Subscribe to the Wild Earth YouTube channel and never miss a moment of the adventure. Wild Earth, connecting with nature. Get ready for an adventure of a lifetime. Wild Earth Travel is proud to launch a brand new grand tour. Backed by popular demand, join us for an unforgettable experience where you'll meet Wild Earth presenters from past and present, participate in an exclusive rhino conservation project, and even take a masterclass in wildlife filming. And of course, you'll get up close and personal with your favorite animal characters. Book your spot now and dive into the wild with Wild Earth Travel. Are you looking to take your bond with the wild to the next level? Download our app and access in-depth chats with our naturalists and special guests. Connect and converse in real time on our Ask Me Anythings, fireside chats, hangouts, and town halls. WeChat, available on the Wild Earth app. Wild Earth, we are Safari.
amazing questions of late. Is the stork a relative of the Australian jabiru? I have to confess that I've never heard of an Australian jabiru before, so I couldn't tell you. I mean, I'm going to look it up, that's for sure. A jabiru. How do you spell jabiru when it's not at home? Oh, I see it. Right, okay, Australian, yes, it is a stork. It would appear to be a relative of the stork, yes. How amazing. It does look like it. It looks very similar, actually. It's also an airport manufacturer, which is making my search slightly more difficult. So yeah, it's probably the same family. Storks go all over the world, certainly all over most of the eastern hemisphere. I'm pretty sure they're found in the United States and South America as well. The jabiru is not, in fact, native to Australia. The jabiru is a large stork found in the Americas from Mexico to Argentina, except west of the Andes. It sometimes wanders into the United States, usually in Texas, but has been reported as far north as Mississippi. There we go. It's a least concerned bird, and it is a member of the stork family. The jabiru. We have now learned something new, Paul. The jabiru. Looks like an ibis crossed with one of these things.
Yeah, I book a move and I'll just drive straight west.
So our herds here are slowly grazing, and there's a waterhole over here. So some of them have been drinking. I can see the foothills of the escarpment where the lions were trying to get closer to them, but they moved away from the lions. Now slowly they're heading towards the west. So we saw the herds moving towards the east yesterday, but because of the rain, they've all decided to come back this way. Because of the fresh grass that pops on the ground after the rains, they get attracted to that, and the movement keep on changing from direction to direction, depends on the weather pattern. And as they walk, they keep on following good pasture land and where there's adequate water. You can see amongst them there's some zebras where they come in handy when it comes to security. We've had lions trying to hunt the entire week with no success. So yesterday there's a lion that was tracking, failed. This morning we have 3 lionesses that were tracking these wildebeest, but then failed again. Over in the distance I can see some zebras and wildebeest staring. Could be they might be predators. See how they're all concentrating and looking at one direction. I think there possibly might be a predator there. This is how sometimes we tell if there's a predator, because when they stare at one direction without moving, it simply says there is a predator. Look at the zebras up in the front row and the wildebeest, heads pointing forward. Yeah, the ones to the very front row. Looks like they've seen some lions over there, and I can see slowly the herds are moving towards the left. At these waterholes that are around the savannah, these are prominent places where predators will like or prefer to come and hide, because they know this plains game will take an advantage of the water, and that's how they fall prey during the day. Because after the rains, these pools provide them with water, so they don't have to walk a long distance away to the river. But if these ponds are dry, then they have to walk sometimes long distance, about 12 kilometers, to the water or not. See how they are staring in that direction. Zebras have sharp eyes, and that's the reason why you find them walking alongside wildebeest. Now they're slowly turning back because they've seen the predators. And after a predator has moved away, they are relaxed, carry on with their grazing, because there's no way they can be surprised because they're on a raised platform.
Well, we have left the lioness since because she disappeared on us, and she's got all the right to do what she wants, and we can continue with our daily lives. And we're still in the same area, not very far from where the lioness disappeared on us, and we came across this beautiful female giraffe that is relaxing and chewing her cud, accompanied by the yellow-billed oxpecker. Yeah, you can see the oxpecker is really enjoying being on those on the mane of the giraffe, just relaxing there. I don't know exactly what it was doing, but look, it was like doing a dance. Yeah, that was the oxpecker, but this is the face of the Maasai giraffe. You can tell that the lips are very loose. There's almost no bone in front there. They're just like fingers, large, huge fingers. Look at the eyelashes. Those protect the eye when, they're going through thick brush. What I would like you to experience is how they regurgitate their cud, and from the angle where the neck meets the head, where it bends, where the oxpecker is, I'd like you to watch that spot. Once she swallows, you're just going to wait for about 2 seconds, and you're going to see a rush of a ball coming up and being pushed back to the mouth. And it's very interesting to see, because when they fill up the large intestine, the rumen, they just stop and regurgitate it. Have a look. Look. You'll see something come up. You see it? There. Did you see that? Yeah, that's how they shoot it back as a large ball, and then they continue chewing it. That's a side profile. Those eyes look like they're just dark, but I tell you, my friend, they can see a very, very long way. And it is the giraffes see in color, and I can believe that, because when you're really close to the vehicle, sometimes they actually bend down. It's like they really want to investigate. Very inquisitive. They want to look inside the vehicle and really tell who is in there, and differentiate everything. Looks like she got a little bit uncomfortable with the oxpeckers, and she's moving slightly further. This is a female. Always you can tell by those horns, and she is carrying a young one. She is very, very pregnant. Now she has decided to take over the road. I cannot blame her. There's no traffic, so she's got all the right to do that. It is very lucky for our generation to be seeing these tall guys. Sonia, can different giraffe species breed? Yes. If a male and female are kept in the same vicinity, they will breed, and already it is believed that in some parts of northern Kenya, the reticulated giraffe and the Maasai giraffe have bred, and we might have a new giraffe in the near future, proclaim that it exists. But yes, they can breed, and the reason is if you put them in a very confined area, when they meet each other, they will breed. But I don't know what comes out, how it will look. Might look very, very different. I'm also using this giraffe as a lookout point because she's much taller than my Land Rover, and where I am, there is those lions, so I'm hoping she can actually direct me. The oxpeckers are actually picking ticks off the giraffe, at the same time keeping warm. It is, warming up, and maybe where they were, it was quite cold, and so they're warming up oxpeckers. This is, a symbiotic relation called mutualism, where everybody benefits, the giraffe and also the oxpeckers. The oxpeckers are very common in giraffes, buffaloes, impalas, warthogs here in the Masai Mara, and we have two species of them, the yellow-billed and the red-billed oxpeckers. This girl, I think very soon, is going to be joined by others, because on the other side of this bush there is a very good number of them, and they're headed this way, and that's what I'm looking forward to seeing. These guys carry their young ones for up to 14 months. Yes, 14 months. And the young guy is born with the female standing up. Usually it's a very long drop. And once they hit the ground, immediately there's a wiggle. They move around and start trying to stand up. They're usually on their feet within half an hour, and it is necessary to do that. Here, you snooze, you lose. You have to be on your feet as soon as possible, because if you continue just sitting down there, small predators like jackals, hyenas, wild dogs will take full advantage of it lying down, and they will kill it. So they have to be on their feet as soon as possible. About 20 to 30 minutes they're on their feet. Their mothers will actually direct them towards a hidden bush where they form what is called a crèche. It's a babysitting club where different females will bring their young ones, and then the babysitting takes a place in a very hidden spot for about 3 months, where different mothers take duties and turns to take care of the young ones. Where she is, she's very, very safe, because with her height, she's got full advantage over everybody else, and she can see quite far. You can tell she's really, really relaxed. Look at that. Yeah, that's a freaky tongue, about 18 inches, very, very long. Gonna shoot another ball. There we go. Yeah, quite a big one. There's a big difference when you're looking at her at that angle. You see her chewing, and then when she's swallowed, it's quite empty, and when it comes up, it's quite huge. When they age, I have noticed over the years that their heads from the neck upwards tends to turn paler. I might be corrected, but that's what I have experienced over the years. And also their necks tend to bend in, they sag a little bit the neck. Looks like she is really chewing quite fast. This one here, I would say she's over 10 years. It's very hard to actually age giraffes. It's one of the difficult things that I've had, difficulty in doing. Well, I'm gonna stay here a little bit more. Hopefully those other giraffes will come around and join this girl. And while I do that, let's take you to another safari vehicle.
Join the Wild Earth YouTube Superfan community and unlock a world of additional perks. Get exclusive early access or discounts to Wild Earth travel deals. Wear the best bush attire with merchandising discounts. Enjoy an interactive live monthly private safari. Don't miss out on the ultimate fan experience. Join the YouTube Superfan community today. Are you ready for the adventure of a lifetime? Discover the magic of Africa with Wild Earth Travel. From a big cat safari to a jungle trek with gorillas, picture yourself floating down the Zambezi River or witnessing the breathtaking wildebeest migration. At Wild Earth Travel, we turn your bucket list into reality. Don't just dream it, live it. Plan your incredible life-changing journey with Wild Earth Travel today.
Thank you for joining us and have a fantastic morning.
Did you miss all that? Never fear, you won't have to miss another beat on Wild Earth again with our Catch-Ups channel, where you can rewatch missed safaris and shows whenever you please. Only available on the Wild Earth app.
Thank you for joining us and have a fantastic morning.
Loving the warm weather. I mean, this is really the first morning we've had sunshine in, I would say, at least 2 weeks. So it's really a time that all the birds can start strutting their stuff and calling and attracting females. But it is the breeding season right now for most of these birds in the low veld. So they need to make the most of this short period before, too much competition, and then they get less success. And this grebe keeps going. Right now it's just sitting there sort of in the open water, but it keeps going to the left at edge. Kendra, grebes are solitary or in pairs. So we often see pairs of grebes at water holes which are mating. But I actually don't spend too much time with grebes, to be honest, because this is the first one I've seen here at Pride Lands at Leopard Dam. I know on Korongwe, where we started filming a while back, we had some grebes in a waterhole, and it was amazing. They was incredibly territorial. The thing would rush around chasing all sorts of other birds around. And I think you had some grebes at Djuma for a while. I'm not sure in which of the dams at Djuma, but I know that you were at Buffelshoek Dam. Now, that must have been cool to watch them growing the little ones. Oh, that's so super cute. So it must have been nice to see them growing and the youngsters growing as well. But I would like to see 2 pairs even. Oh, that's so nice. Well, we've just got the one for now, but hopefully we'll have a pair that, the second one that arrives soon, and we'll get just as much of enjoyment to watch them growing. Oh, there's a beautiful yellow bird that's just arrived here. I don't know what it is. I don't know if you can see them. Oh, they've flown off now. Oh, no, they're still in there. Do you see those ones there? Seb, you see that small leadwood that's just to the right here? Oh, they look like maybe village weavers. It's very difficult to see from here, but it looks like they're actually trying to gather nesting material. Oh, they're flying. Darn it. Of course, as soon as we try and put them on screen, they disappear. But there's a lot of weavers that are around this dam at the moment. It's crazy. It's a real hive of activity at the moment. Always love to see how amazing and full this dam can get once everything comes alive. We've got on this little tambuti tree over there, there's a lot of weaver nests just in the bottom part, and I think that's what these weavers were. I think they were village weavers or maybe southern mast weavers making these nests that are hanging below the Tamboti tree. These are all old nests from last season, you can tell, because they're all dry and, you know, actually turning a bit grey and black. But the fresh nests will be looking green and lovely with the fresh grass and the fresh twigs and leaves they weave in there. So hopefully we'll start seeing some nice fresh growth and lots of mating and displaying and all sorts of funny things. Often the weavers will hang upside down from their nests and flutter their wings gently, or actually not gently, quite frantically, in order to attract a female to come in and inspect the nest to see if she would like to live in it. And in some of the weaver species, like the red-headed weaver, the female, if she's not happy with the nest but does like the male, she will destroy the nest, rip it up, and the male will have to construct a new one, which she'll then investigate later. Hopefully, if she likes that one, she'll allow him to mate with her and she'll lay an egg in there. So far, no new nests that I can see. I actually don't know if weavers will reuse the nests if it's in a good condition. I don't think so. But you can see there was one that was half built. I mean, it's in the shade right now, but you can see in the middle of the screen there's one weaver's nest that's only half built. It looks like they've started the circular sort of base and they've started to flesh it out, but it's not finished. I think that's from last season, though, because it looks a bit raggedy. It looks like it's falling down. Oh, and there's another bird which I'm not sure many of you would have seen before. It's quite an inobtrusive bird. It's sitting just above us here. I don't know if you'll get that one on film, Seb. There's two southern black flycatchers just in the leadwood tree right above us. So now also in a pair. Do you see that branch there? Yeah, there it is. Just there in the screen. Now, it looks a lot like a fork-tailed drongo, except you can see there it doesn't have a forked tail. So that's a southern black flycatcher. And it's different from a drongo in that it doesn't have a big, strong head and a hooked beak, and it's got a black eye. Now, we can't see its head very clearly, but hopefully it'll move its body and we'll be able to see it a bit more. But this bird actually imitates a drongo. It looks very similar to a drongo, and a drongo is quite an aggressive bird, and so many other birds will just leave the southern black flycatcher alone because they know if it's a drongo and they bother it, it'll start diving at them and sort of chasing them. So it's a very, very nice bird to see. Southern black flycatcher. Well, and there it goes, the pair flying off to the other side of the dam. Love is in the air. Almost every single bird that I'm seeing is in a pair. So it's really nice to see. That's why the grebe's looking so forlorn over there, because it's just on his own. Hopefully he's going to find himself a lady friend that will arrive soon, so he doesn't have to be alone. So he's still there underneath that weeping boar bean in the shade. So it's shallow water over there, probably lots of insect activity underneath the tree. Remember, that particular boar bean is the one we filmed lots of times with huge amounts of bees and birds and all sorts underneath it. So it'll probably be catching anything that's falling down. Jolly Whiskey, I think grebes are quite closely related to ducks, but they are not ducks themselves. They are grebes, so it's a slightly different family. But as I mentioned before, very similar habits. You know, eating aquatic things like invertebrates and fish and all sorts of frogs, and living on the water and diving down and being, in pairs. So share many similarities, but not ducks themselves, but similarly related. I shall actually have to look a bit more because it's very tiny as well. It's always, when you look at a grebe up close, you just realize just how tiny a little grebe is. It's a very, very small group, but it's got a big attitude for a small bird. It will literally, sometimes when we are learning bird calls, we'll go and sit at a dam, for example, like this with our students, and we'll start listening to bird calls, and we'll play calls sometimes when students need to learn them. But if we play a grebe's call, this call of the little grebe, it comes racing over the water towards the edge where we are and starts doing all sorts of calling and displaying. I don't know if the call is enticing it to defend its territory or to try and attract the potential mate, but they're very quick to respond. So I won't play the call now because this poor grebe is trying to get food, and if I start playing the call, it might race over here and start defending its territory, and then it won't be feeding. It's very important when we're trying to learn about birds and look at them and enjoy them and watch their behavior, to be aware that now is the breeding season. These birds will be a lot more responsive to calls, and if you keep playing a call over and over again, it's going to disrupt that bird from finding a mate, feeding its young, feeding itself. So you really do need to be quite sensitive about it. So never play the calls over and over again, because you don't want to disturb them. So nice around this dam. It's rather peaceful, but lots of birds calling. It's so nice. Hopefully we're going to hear lots more migrant birds calling soon.
That sounds wonderful. It is a really nice, peaceful day. Really, really beautiful. And here we have some squirrels. There were 2 of them playing around. Now we've just got the one. Where's our second friend? There we go. Eating pretty much anything they can get their paws on. Digging for something there. Oh, what have you found? Now they will quite literally eat almost anything. But primarily vegetarian, but they like some insects too, the arthropods. Oh, that's so sweet. Looking for little seeds. At camp recently, BK and I saw a monkey. A vervet monkey grab a squirrel and disemboweled it. It was a very violent altercation. Oh, bounce, bounce, bounce. Now when I look at a squirrel, at least now I'm feeling a little bit happier looking at them. But a few days following that incident, I thought, oh, it's so difficult to look at a squirrel. I just remember that squirrel that was lying there. And the monkey. What a cruel monkey. Didn't even eat it. Just kind of grabbed it and threw it to the ground. Oh, they're having such fun. Tails up and fluffy. Okay, I found a dung beetle for you. Let me just collect it from the bottom of my vehicle. Hang on. There you are. You've been. Off you go. Off you go. Yep, there you go. Yeah. You've been at the bottom of the vehicle this whole time. I heard you. Let me... Why don't you show us your face? There we go.
We should probably prepare to move fairly quickly.
Wildearth presents Safari Spotlight, your front row seat to the wonders of the wild. Join our expert naturalists each week as they guide you on an unforgettable journey through the heart of nature.
Looks like this female came out here.
What a privilege to be here.
Subscribe to the Wildearth YouTube channel and never miss a moment of the adventure. Wildearth, connecting with nature. Get ready for an adventure of a lifetime. Wildearth Travel is proud to launch a brand new grand tour. Backed by popular demand, join us for an unforgettable experience where you'll meet Wildearth presenters from past and present, participate in an exclusive rhino conservation project, and even take a masterclass in wildlife filming. And of course, you'll get up close and personal with your favorite animal characters. Book your spot now and dive into the wild with Wild Earth Travel. Not everyone gets excited to hear a leopard chuff, spot a pangolin, or see a real impala rut. But if you are wild about the wild, you can become part of a community of like-minded nature lovers and share authentic wildlife experiences with the world. Join the Explorers Club and you will also enjoy the many benefits that come with it too. Wild Earth Explorers, it's in your nature.
Vinny, I don't know what specific food they eat to help with tusk growth. I'm not sure that they know even, necessarily. They'll eat anything that's calcium rich, I suppose. They don't do things like eat bones or suck on bones normally, like a lot of animals do to supplement calcium. I'm assuming that's what they'd need to help their teeth grow nice and strong. I don't know what plants here. I don't know what nutrients are needed to make the tusks good and strong, or certainly to make them grow. I'm not sure that they do. Not sure anyone's ever researched that, actually. Chrissy, I do to some extent. That's a really quite interesting question. I think that the more intelligent the animals, the more interested they are in us and what we're doing. And that's especially the case if they're not particularly busy. And it's especially the case with young animals. So I think that young hyenas, young elephants, especially young elephant bulls, and young leopards, especially young male leopards, spend a lot of time interacting, looking, watching, and being amused by our presence. And by amused, I mean entertained. I don't necessarily mean they roll about the floor laughing. But I think for the vast majority of animals, we are a presence like other animals are a presence in their lives. And that's either a threat or not a threat, or something to eat. And so for a termite, when it sees a human being, its reaction is exactly the same as if it saw a hornbill or another kind of predator. It thinks that it's going to be eaten and it will run for cover. And so there's definitely no interest from it. An impala, similar thing. It reacts to us in much the same way as it would react to a predator that it thought was going to devour it. If you walk up to an impala on foot, it will run away from you. And I don't think it's vaguely interested in your behavior or curious about what your thoughts are and your emotions in relation to impala emotions and thoughts. It just wants to get away because it sees you as a threat, an immediate threat. So, this is amazing. Look at him using his tusks there to dig. So I think that you'll find that the more intelligent an animal is and the younger it is, the more it will be curious about us. They don't watch us, though, with this. I mean, many people watch wildlife for those reasons. They are curious and they're relatively interested, but they don't study animals. And none of the animals out here study our behavior, I don't think. It's a nice question. Really cool thought, actually. I suppose we'd quite like to think that the animals enjoy studying us. But remember, it's not the animals and us. It's lots and lots of different species of animal, and we being just one of them. So I suspect that an elephant bull's interest in us would extend to interest in other bits of wildlife around him. If he's not being forced to eat, he might find a bird interesting, or a predator he finds, or even a tortoise. I've seen them playing with tortoises before. But I don't think there's a sophisticated aesthetic interest. I think it's much more an entertainment interest, if that makes sense. Lovely sounds of the birds. Sounds like a thrush calling. But I don't think it is. I think it's actually the white-browed scrub robin again. In fact, it's definitely a scrub robin. Perfectly peaceful Friday morning. Delicious. I think we'll probably go and see if we can check out one of the things we have looked at while, simply because I want to know.
Yeah. Must be.
Hello. Look at what we have here. We have olive baboons, and this looks like a very, very big male. In baboons, there is no dominancy. All males protect all members of the troop. Look at those teeth. Yes, those are canines that protect and are used against protection. They're about 2 centimeters long as leopards, and they're very, very lethal. Remember, this is a primate, so it's very intelligent. When you see them together and on the ground, usually there's always a lookout. Looks like he's an old guy. Did you see him hold his beard? Although he doesn't have one. They have amazing eyesight, and when he's on high ground like that, he is, he's taking a vantage point and making sure that there is no threat. There is other members of the troop who are spread out, around this area. some on the tree, some on the ground. Looks like this is part of their territory or home range, so to call it. Usually a home range has plenty of water, trees that can produce berries and fruit, and also plenty of grass. The strategy they use here is that once they're on the ground, they spread out and they always have lookouts. So in case of danger, he can warn them, he can warn everybody, and everybody usually yeah, thank you for appreciating the teeth and the size of that baboon. Yes, and usually if there is a threat, one would bark a call that sounds like "Go-ho! Go-ho!" And once that is heard, everybody scampers to the nearest tree and climbs at the highest point possible and tries to locate the threat and continues to warn everybody else. A troop is made up of almost 60 members here in the Mara, and there's no dominancy. The ratio between females and males is almost the same, and these guys breed year around. The main threat is mainly the top predators, lion and leopard. Here looks like they are just enjoying their morning, and grooming is a part and a very essential part of baboons in the morning to create a stronger bond and also a very strong imprint of the smell between one to the other. And you'll see them checking on the hairs, picking mites and insects and trying to kill them. If not that, sometimes they lie on each other and pretend to rest, and it is very important thing that they do in the morning. Over there in front we have a few that I'm gonna drive to. I hope they stay, but they're very, very shy here in the Mara because they haven't gotten any contact with humans, and so they usually run away. I'm gonna try and stay at a distance that they can allow me to share their experience with you. It's quite some huge ones over here. We were expecting those ones to stay on that tree, but they have disappeared. They feed on meat also. They're omnivores, and they don't hunt. Sorry, they do hunt, but the hunting is very simple. Usually they find a Thompson's gazelle with young or impala and pretend to pass by, and while doing that, the little guy is oblivious of how dangerous they are. They just normally grab it, and because they don't have canines to cut the meat, they usually rip it into pieces. Yeah, let's have a look at these huge guys. It's very ruthless and sad to see, but that's how they feed. But while on the ground, they normally feed on small insects, birds, not snakes. They are very afraid of snakes. These here you can tell are the big boys, and these boys are very, very dangerous. You don't want to joke with them. I'm sure some of you have had experiences with them. If cornered, they can inflict serious injury. Also, if they gang up, they have been known to chase or even kill leopards. Look at that white underneath the armpit. Looks like he's eating something. In their mouth, they have what we call cheek pouches, and cheek pouches are extended skin that is on the side of their cheeks or jaws, and when filled up, they say that it's equivalent to filling up their tummy. So sometimes when they go somewhere and they think there is a threat, they don't actually take time to eat and swallow everything. They store it on their cheek pockets, and when danger is over or when they leave that spot, then they end up filling their tummies with it. So very, very smart evolution. Yeah, that is a very, very big one. This is the olive baboon. I'm going to try and move closer also. Again, olive baboon. We do get the yellow baboon. Is found in the coast of Kenya from Amboseli, just below the mountains of Kilimanjaro, all the way to Chulu's, Savo, all the way to the coast. They have a slightly lighter coat.
Join the Wild Earth YouTube Superfan community and unlock a world of additional perks. Get exclusive early access or discounts to Wild Earth travel deals. Wear the best bush attire with merchandising discounts. Enjoy an interactive live monthly private safari. Don't miss out on the ultimate fan experience. Join the YouTube Superfan community today. Are you ready for the adventure of a lifetime? Discover the magic of Africa with Wild Earth Travel. From a big cat safari to a jungle trek with gorillas, picture yourself floating down the Zambezi River or witnessing the breathtaking wildebeest migration. At Wild Earth Travel, we turn your bucket list into reality. Don't just dream it, live it. Plan your incredible life-changing journey with Wild Earth Travel today. Do you sometimes imagine what Wild Earth would be like without adverts? A chance to properly immerse yourself in nature without any interruptions. Sign up to be an explorer for a small monthly fee and you can truly escape into the wilderness. Ad-free viewing is now available on our app as well as on our website. Wild Earth, it's in your nature.
Successful. It's hiding, so who can tell us what is that animal tucked up in amongst the tangled vegetation right now? We're just talking very softly, making very slow movements. We don't want to frighten this animal, and where it's sitting, look how well camouflaged this animal is. My word. So it took us a little time to find it, and its hiding ability made it a little bit tougher for us to locate this animal. But the animal's sitting down under cover for a very important reason. Looking at the color that you're seeing in the picture there, this is a male. I haven't said what animal yet. And the male is busy doing a very important, or playing out a very important role right now. So it took us a little time leaving those cubbies. Those cubbies are man down. They're doing absolutely nothing but sleeping with full bellies right now. So we decided that we'll come and try and find this beautiful animal, and something that hopefully we can work in the next few days. This is a male ostrich sitting on a nest. And you can see it's a male from the black plumage being presented in the middle of the frame. And what you can see is its very large eye just off the central part of the frame, and then its nice pinkish beak just in amongst all that vegetation. So typically, rule of thumb, it's always been the notion that males will only sit at nighttime on eggs and females only during the daytime. Yeah, their plumage color does allow them to remain concealed through different parts of the day and night. So generally, males tend to sit on the nest at night, where their dark plumage will allow them to blend in with this dark landscape under the cover of darkness. And then the female, with her nice light brown plumage, will then be perfectly suited to blend into this environment during the daylight hours. So she might just be off feeding at the moment, and he's just taken over the role of sitting and incubating those eggs. It's also very important that the temperature is regulated correctly. By sitting on it, obviously that's the form in which the incubation process will continue.
Daddy sits on the eggs while Mommy goes out to play.
Daddy sits on the eggs while Mommy goes out to play. It seems like it right now. But also through these daylight hours, when it gets much warmer, and you can see there's not a lot of shade being provided from those little bushes, is that his plumage will obviously increase his temperature, that black plumage absorbing a lot more solar radiation than the female would. And that's generally why you would find the male sitting on the nest at night time and the female during the day. Excuse me. But Mom might just be off doing her thing, and so that's why he's sitting here on the nest. And also he's a very important form of protection now. The hungry tummies of a brown hyena or baboon, you don't want the clutch to be lost, because you've put a lot of energy and a lot of time into producing these very large eggs. And so he would be here for safety. If anything comes in here, he will act aggressively. And you don't want to mess with an ostrich around a nest. They've got no scam. They've got no hesitation to run up and almost steamroll you over. They've got that big front claw on the toe, and as well as very powerful legs that can inflict quite a lot of damage. But what a marvelous sight, and also how lucky are we to be able to be in and amongst this nest. Ooh, Riley, how big is the ostrich population on Tswalu? Riley, we don't have a specific number for you. They are perfectly suited to the Kalahari system and into drier and western regions of South Africa. They do well in the Karoo, so it's partly going down to the southern part of South Africa, and they do fairly well going a bit further east. But they are perfectly suited for this environment. The population of ostrich on Tswalu is fairly good. It's just that they have so many predators. So when these little ones hatch, they really do have a rocky road ahead of them in order to reach maturity and hopefully one day become a parent themselves. So I don't have an exact number for you in terms of a figure, but I would say it's fairly healthy. Cheetah predate on ostrich, so that controls their numbers. You'll find spotted hyena would go after ostrich, lions, and then when these little ones hatch, anything from jackal, mongoose even, when they're very small, and they're fairly well equipped, but they definitely do have a lot of predators that predate on them, and then allowing that number to be in the lower parts. It's sad that here on Tswalu. But hopefully in the next couple of days next couple of minutes, we can find a better spot to hopefully get a better view of those eggs. Safari lover, do ostrich lay eggs through a certain period? They are all-year breeders. They can lay eggs any time of the year. Some places you will have more of a seasonal breeding habit, depending on rainfall, depending on climate. There's various factors, but they're generally seen as all-year breeders. And some places it is June to January, so when that favorable period is upon them, so the end of the winter, going into spring and then summer, when there is a high load of food for these little ones to feed. So in this area, by my knowledge, it's somewhere between June and January. So we're in the perfect period for these animals to be breeding right now. But then, like I said, can then also occur throughout the year, depending on the environment. It's quite a tricky thing, this variation depending where you are in South Africa, and as well as in the continent of Africa.
Now we have got a very innocuous herd of impala. They were right in front of us, but again have moved off now into the woodlands. And this is what they do. It's a typical behavior, and it's one that you don't notice unless you observe them for a long time, because you can get up quite close to them. We were about 20 or 30 meters from them. And slowly what they do is they just increase that distance until they're a good 50 or 60 meters away, and then they'll settle. And even at that distance, they'll probably, if you hang around for long enough, they'll just slowly keep moving away. They may move back eventually, but their overwhelming desire is to just put distance between you and them. Or their overwhelming drive. I'm not sure it's a desire, it's a drive. And they've just started moving off. And they'll do this wherever you are. Very seldom will a herd come closer to you. It's not the same with Nyala and bushbuck. Similar for kudu. But I find most of the wildebeest, impala, zebra, same kind of thing. So there was no alarm registered when we pulled up here. They just kind of looked. A couple of them were lying down. They just carried on lying down, and then slowly one or two moved, and then the rest moved, and they all just kind of moved away. And they obviously just, the further from us they are, the safer they feel. It's quite a good strategy, I guess, if you're trying to stay alive out here. Anything that could be a threat, you try and stay away from. They're not too far from the wild dogs, but I did find somebody who'd been with the wild dogs, and he said they are so fast asleep they're not going anywhere. No, Daniel, not all antelope leap when they run. Wildebeest don't leap when they run. Sable, roan, sesame, topi, hartebeest, they don't leap when they run. Impala leap when they run, but in fact, I think they're the only ones. We know that kudu, bushbuck and nyala can leap, but normally that's from a sort of two-stride run-up, and then they'll try and go over things like fences. I've watched impala, at least I've watched kudu and nyala jumping into the Vuyatela camp over their fence, but they don't take a run-up to do it, they just kind of jump. So no, I think impala are probably the only ones that do it. Springbok do it as well, although strictly speaking, they're not that closely related to impala. So some of the gazelles do it while they're running. They'll run along and then pronk or do some leaping. But no, steenbok, duiker, yeah, you won't see them, waterbuck running and leaping like impalas do. The morning taking on that sort of soporific atmosphere where the birds have stopped calling too much. There's just a few starlings squawking away. Breeze is up, heat is building, and animals for the most part, are heading for the shade to re-chew their breakfasts if they've had a whole lot of grass or tree leaves. Or in the case of the wild dogs, just probably ate an impala, and they'll just digest that quietly in the shade for the next 6 hours or so. And the insects will start to move too. Lots of flies, mosquitoes, beastly mosquitoes, bees. Etc. Even some dragonflies and dung beetles and that sort of thing, as it gets a little bit warmer. And they all start to emerge. We should probably prepare to move fairly quickly.
Wild Earth presents Safari Spotlight, your front row seat to the wonders of the wild. Join our expert naturalists each week as they guide you on an unforgettable journey through the heart of nature.
Looks like this female came out here.
What a privilege to be here.
Subscribe to the Wild Earth YouTube channel and never miss a moment of the adventure. Wild Earth, connecting with nature. Get ready for an adventure of a lifetime. Wild Earth Travel is proud to launch a brand new grand tour. Backed by popular demand, join us for an unforgettable experience where you'll meet Wild Earth presenters from past and present, participate in an exclusive rhino conservation project, and even take a masterclass in wildlife filming. And of course, you'll get up close and personal with your favorite animal characters. Book your spot now and dive into the wild with Wild Earth Travel. Did you know that the Wild Earth team makes weekly behind the safari content? Would you like to get to know the Wild Earth family better? See how we live.
This is Igor's bedroom.
Learn about our production process. And see the antics that happen off camera. Sign up to be an explorer and you will get access to all this content and more.
Lioness, she's huge, which is quite nice. I think with her genes passing through into the cubs, you can already see it on the white male lion on his face, how big the head is. One of the cubs just lifted its head as well. You can see the mane popping out there already, and they are, just over 2 years old now? Quite nice to see them grow up to large males. Enjoying the sunlight. For now, it's not too hot just yet, but I think later on, apparently it's getting to about 31 degrees, so they'll move further off, look for some shade. Oh, one just sneezed. Sounds like everyone is super happy to see the Birmingham Pride finally, and so am I. Very, very happy we could find them this morning. I do hope we get to see the young male as well. Especially, I want to see him walking. Look how his limp is doing. The other day we were with him and we saw him stand up and walk towards us, and it didn't look like he was limping at all. Very interesting to see this afternoon. I'll be spending some time with them. Usually get more active as it gets cooler. Now, it's getting dark about 5:45. It cools down quite quickly, which is nice. So I'm pretty sure we'll get to see them walking.
Brian, come in.
So every now and then you see a flick of a tail. It could be that is the Birmingham young male lying down there. So neither Rasmal just went and gone down to lie down. Not getting too close to that female. I think he is quite scared of her. I would be scared of her. Connor, I think, is asking how long do lions sleep per day. So it usually varies, whether it's winter, summer, raining, cloudy, but generally something from about 16 to 20 hours. They're generally quite lazy. But I think last night they got up and started walking at around, 6, 6:15 about. But then often what they do is they'll walk for a bit and then they lie down, sleep again, then walk for a bit. Then they'll try a hunt. Like I said earlier, I think they caught something small last night, ate that, slept for a bit, then walk again. But yeah, generally lions spend majority of their day asleep. So, which is good. If you find them this time of the morning, you can almost bet money on it that they will be here in the afternoon. Unless if it was very, very rainy or very cloudy, then they could still be moving and hunting. But for now, I think they found their spot. Quite a good spot as well. There's a bit of water right behind them, a small pan system. So, if there are any wildebeest, zebra, buffalo even in the area, they would try come here for water. A clever spot to lie down. I see that one's just passed out completely. Belly up, feet up in the air. Bridget, good question. Do these lions hunt mostly at night? They do. Predators have phenomenal eyesight, and then great eyesight at night as well. And this is the time they'll use that advantage to actually sneak up and prey. So lions are ambush predators. And so she's awake now. Ambush predators, so they use the cover of darkness to try sneak up as close as they can to their prey, and then just use their speed. I think it's something about 22 meters per second. At full speed, they'll try use that and take down their prey. So at night, often what you'll find is majority of the prey species, they'll try to fall asleep in a big open clearing like this so that lions and leopards don't or will struggle more to sneak up on them. See the Rasmal staring at us now. Odie, I'm going to go just a little bit forward. Try to put him in that gap with the guaris. You can see he's cleaning his front paw now.
I think, Ruff, well,
we were fortunate enough to relocate on Tavungumi. Well, we were, and he's off again. Whilst you were gone, he chased after a... Thank you, Ralph. Well, we were lucky enough to relocate on Tavungumi. We found him on a termite mound, and he chased after a duiker whilst you were gone. And unsuccessfully, by the look of it. I think he's just trodden on a thorn. Shame he didn't try to get something out of his foot. Yeah, we were just trying to find him up on the road. We were just patrolling the road and managed to... What's he got there? Managed to find him lying on a termite mound. Trying to see what he's doing. I just heard a crunch. What are you chewing on, boy?